Hello and welcome to Him Tutorials. Again, I am here to help you in your online study. New chapter we will do now, and chapter number 7, that is living and non-living things we are going to do. In this chapter, the main topic living things or the things around us we will discuss, and under this topic the subtopic which we are going to cover for today, that is types, similarities and some characteristics of the things. So without much delay, let's start. As we know that when we look around ourselves, we are surrounded by a number of objects. These objects like pen, pencil, table, chair, plants, animals. So these objects, all the objects, they are, if we look very deeply, then we will observe that all the things are different from each other in shape and size. And if they are different from each other in shape, size, color, it means the objects are different from each other. So these objects like pen, pencil, table, they can't grow with time. But if we look on the other hand, a dog can be, or you can say a puppy can be grow into a dog, a child can be grow into a human being, adult human, and a plantlet, a small plant can grow into a big tree. Also, these organisms like dog, cat, humans, they can jump, run, walk from one place to another. But table, chair, pen, pencil, fan, generator, AC, cooler, heater, they can't move on their own. They require some external force to move from one place to another. So if we look upon such type of examples, from these all examples we learn that the things are categorized into two main types, and they are the living things and the non-living things. So the things can be categorized into living things, which include plants and animals. And in animals we can include mammals also, and you know that human beings are also mammals. So we are also included in living things. So if we go for the non-living things, then non-living things, for example, pen, pencil, car, mobile, etc. There are many examples of non-living things. So the things can be categorized into two main types, that is living things and non-living things. Now living things and non-living things both have some similarities. So let's look that what are the similarities between the living and non-living things. Similarities between living and non-living things. If we go for the first similarity, that is both living and non-living things, they are made up of matter. And anything that is made up of matter, it means it has some mass and it can occupy some space. Mass means the number of particles, definite amount of particles are present in a body. Also, occupy space means they cover some space. So either living or non-living, both the things occupy space and both has some mass. If I exemplify them, so if I take an example of this board is a non-living thing, but it can cover space over this wall. Okay, if I took example of mine, so as a human being, I am also a living thing. So where I am standing, so it is also occupying, so I am also occupying some space over here. So both the living and non-living things, they are made up of matter. It means they have some mass and they can occupy space, they can cover some space. Okay. Second is they are made up of basic simpler units, and these are the repetitive units. And they are so small that they can't be seen with naked eye. So all the living and non-living things, they are made up of basic, simpler, repetitive units, and these units are so small that they can't be seen with the naked eye. It means they require some instrument to see, and mainly we use microscope to see these units, either of living or non-living. Okay. The third point is, or the third similarity between the living and non-living, that is, living things are considered that they are made up of the basic structural and functional unit that is called as cell. And if we go for non-living things, so non-living things has basic structural and functional unit that is called as atom. In our previous chapter, in chapter number 14, in electricity and circuits, we have learned about what is the relationship between the atom and cell. We know that cell is considered to be the part of living world, and it is the basic unit of the living world. So in a cell, there are a number of cell organelles, and those number of cell organelles have compounds in them, and those compounds are made up of elements, and elements are made up of atoms. So again, the same thing is here, that either it's living or non-living. All the things are made up of basic units, they are called as atoms. Now we will discuss about the characteristics of the living things. We know that living things are organisms, and all organisms have some basic characteristics which are common in them, and we will learn about the characteristics, that how these living things are different from the non-living things. So the characteristics of living things are as follows. So the first characteristic of the living thing, that is, they have definite shape and size. If they have definite shape and size, it means they are made up of cells, as they may be unicellular or multicellular. It means if they are multicellular or unicellular, so they know how to maintain their organization. So they can maintain their organization. If they can maintain their organization, then they can show movement. If they can show movement, it means they need food and energy. They need food and energy to show the movement. And if they need food and energy, so to get the energy, they respire. They respire to get energy. If they respire to get energy, it means they get the energy and they excrete. They get the energy by eating food, okay. Simultaneously, respiration is also there to use that energy, and if they use that energy in the form of food, then they can excrete the wastes from the body. Eighth point is that if they can excrete, okay, so they can respond to stimuli. Ninth character is that they can respond to stimuli and they can reproduce. If they can reproduce, means they can grow. and if they can grow, it means they have some definite lifespan, as they can took birth and they can die out. Okay, and the last 12th point is differences among organisms. So these are the 12 characteristics of the living things, and we will discuss all the characteristics deeply one by one in our coming videos. So before going out, let's recap all the things very quickly. Today we have learned about things around us. We know that the things are categorized into two main parts, that is living things, which include plants and animals, also human beings, and non-living things means pen, pencil, car, table, phone, many things are there which are non-living. So next is the similarities between the living and non-living thing. The similarity between the living and non-living thing is that they are made up of matter, means they have mass, they can occupy the space. The things, the basic things which they are made up of, they can't be seen with the naked eye, so they require microscope to see the basic unit which they are made of. The living things are made up of cells as a structural and functional unit, and non-living things are made up of atoms as structural and functional unit. Okay, if we go for the characteristics, then all the living things can show these 12 characteristics in them. First is they have definite shape and size. If they have definite shape and size, it means they are made up of cells. If they are made up of cells, it means they can easily maintain their organization, they can adapt themselves. Then they can show movement, and if they show movement, then they need food and energy for the movement. And if they have food and energy, so to utilize that energy, they respire. They eat food, they respire, they utilize the energy, and if they utilize the food in the body, it means they can excrete waste. If they excrete waste, it means they can respond to stimuli, and after responding to stimuli, they can reproduce. And if they can reproduce, it means they can grow, and after the growth, they have got definite lifespan from birth to death. And the last difference is that the differences among the different type of organisms. So this is all about outline, you can say discussion, that what we are going to learn about living and non-living things. Basically, we will learn about the characters. So up to our next video, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.